Hey, Jason Starr here, and the topic of today's video is how to overcome self-doubt as a writer. This is a great topic. It was suggested by a subscriber. If you have a topic you'd like me to discuss here or a writing-related question you want me to answer, please leave a note in the comments. I've been trying to get to these as soon as I can. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel, check back, like the video, and share it on social media. So here's the thing about self-doubt. Every writer at every level at some time experiences self-doubt. Self-doubt is not something that only new writers go through or need to overcome. It's something that Stephen King experiences, that Lee Child experiences, that Harlan Coben experiences, that Toni Morrison, Ian McEwan, me. Every writer at every level goes through a period of self-doubt. And it's a matter of managing the self-doubt, of accepting it. There are ebbs and flows to this. Every day, you're not going to feel super confident about your abilities. And in order to be a writer, you have to have this inner confidence. And when I talk about inner confidence, I don't mean just in the writing itself. I don't mean a confidence that your writing is good. I mean a confidence that people are going to want to read what you have to write, that some people are going to find it important, they're going to find it interesting, that it's going to be commercially successful. And when you think about it, it almost takes a semi-delusional attitude to be a writer or to be an artist of any kind, to believe that what you're saying is so important that people are going to want to read it, pay for it. And this confidence is not necessarily at a high level every single day. For example, if I'm working on a novel and I'll reread like an early chapter that I wrote, on some days I'll read it and I'll be like, God, this is awful. Like, what was I thinking? This is like the worst crap ever. Like, no one's ever going to want to read this. And another day I'll read it and I'll be in another mood and I'll be like, wow, this is awesome. This is great. I've never written a better book. Everyone's going to buy this. So, and it's the same book. It's the same exact chapter. But my perspective has changed. So you have to accept that your perspective might change on a given day. Sometimes I like to think of it like, I don't know if you've ever tried to meditate, but when you're meditating, you're told that when outside thoughts intrude, you accept that they're going to be there and they're floating by like clouds, and you kind of have to accept that your confidence is not necessarily going to be super high every day, that they're going to be lower days, and you have to kind of just accept that and let it pass by. So that's the first thing. The next thing is you have to manage how you respond to criticism, and this is going to affect your self-doubt. There's going to be, you're going to get criticized. There's going to be critical response to your writing, again, at every level, whether you're in a creative writing class or a writing group, whether you're a big best-selling writer and the New York Times gives you a bad review, if you're reviewed in Goodreads or on Amazon, everything isn't going to be a 5-star review. They're going to be 1-star reviews. You have to have the attitude, well, first of all, that you're not going to please everybody. You have to accept that if you're pleasing 70 or 80% of people, you're doing great. But you also have to look at criticism and figure out like what is like good criticism and what's bad criticism. For example, if you're in a creative writing class and one person has a problem with your ending, you might want to like look at that and consider obviously what they have to say, but you don't take it as seriously as if everyone has like, if multiple people have that same opinion, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be a specific problem, but everyone seems to think that something is off about the ending, then you have to kind of take that seriously. But in order to maintain a high level of confidence in yourself and your writing, you have to understand that like there's always going to be a critical response. You have to figure out how you're going to manage that response. Another thing you could do to maintain yourself, to not go through long periods of self-doubt, is to write as if your friends and family don't exist. So when you're writing, you're not thinking about are other people going to judge me for my work, or how are they going to perceive me? Because if you start doing that, you're getting outside of the book and you're not really focused on the book itself. So you want to just be thinking about writing the book, the craft of writing the book, and you can't think about, again, you have to pretend your family doesn't exist. You're not going to be judged. Now, when the book is done, similarly, you really can't think about how you personally are going to be judged for it. You have to think of what you're creating as something external from you. It's not necessarily you that they're criticizing. You can't take it that personally, or not even necessarily criticizing, but even just seeing a part of yourself. Because when you're writing, you're being vulnerable in some way. You're opening up. And if you think about that and you get too self-conscious about that, that could lead to self-doubt. So sort of let go of that idea that you're going to be judged for your book. You kind of just want to focus on the craft, on getting it done. And lastly, I would say avoid comparing yourself to other writers. This goes on social media. Don't compare yourself to a friend of yours who got a bigger book deal than you, or don't compare yourself to someone who got nominated for an award you didn't get nominated for. If you're in a writing class, don't think that don't compare yourself to someone else's. If someone read a great story that day, don't think that like, oh, how am I going to live up to that? Here's the thing. Writing is about having your individual voice, and it's about being unique in what you have to say. For example, if I'm writing a crime novel and at the same time I'm reading a novel, and this used to happen to me, like when I was writing a novel, like I'd read like an Elmore Leonard novel, and I'd be like, on a day when my self-confidence wasn't as high, I'd be like, I'm never going to be, at this level. I'm never going to write a novel like Elmore Leonard. But then it occurred to me once, but that's probably true. I'm never going to write a novel like Elmore Leonard. But Elmore Leonard or another writer wouldn't be able to write a novel with my voice, my unique voice. So you have to kind of lean into what's unique about your writing, your own voice. What are you doing that no one else can do? So once you start focusing on that, you're not going to compare yourself as much to other writers. And you're just going to be focusing on your craft. And assuming you're working on your craft of writing, and you're making sure your plot is tight, your characters are on point, then your confidence is going to grow, and your periods of self-doubt are going to wane. So I hope this video is helpful. Again, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments. Thanks.